So we're starting another project. It is a four-sided pyramid in the ratio of the pyramid of Cestius, which is in the city of Rome, Italy. And we're working with a figure. The figure is a diagram or pictorial illustration of textual matter. So, and our figure is going to be a four-sided pyramid. Always working with the standard, refining and completing an artistic work. Process components: reflect, refine, and revise. Performance standard: reflect on, re-engage, revise, and refine works of art or design, considering relevant traditional and contemporary criteria as well as personal artistic vision. Okay, so our background for this exercise is the Pyramid of Cestius here, which is located in Rome, Italy. But our warm-up questions are: where is Rome? What is the place you associate with pyramids? Where is that place? What is the symbolism of a pyramid? Why were pyramids built? So the Pyramid of Cestius, in Italian, Piramide di Caio Cestio, or Piramide Cestia, is an ancient pyramid in Rome, Italy, near the Porta San Paolo, which would be the Gate of San Paolo, and the Protestant cemetery. It was built as a tomb for Gaius Cestius, a member of the Apollonis religious corporation. It stands at the fork between two ancient roads, the Via Ostiensis and another road that ran west to the Tiber along the approximate line of the modern Via Marmarata. So, due to its incorporation into the city's fortification, it is today one of the best preserved ancient buildings in Rome. How about that? So, you can read a little more about this, but here is the Pyramid of Cestius, and you can see the wall that was incorporated into it. And this is the actual inner space of it. This is a tomb, actually. They actually put, the magistrate in here. This was his. He was a very important person. He was Gaius Cestius. That's who he was. And he obviously had a couple of bucks, and they built this amazing pyramid to him. And the thing, this pyramid was 100 Roman feet at the base and 125 Roman feet high. So I picked the dimension of 4 inches at its base and 5 inches at its to its apex in height to essentially stay within the ratio of the Pyramid of Cestius. And you can see the room here, this barrel vaulted room, so anyway, we're not going to go into this anymore because we need to get to the directions. So you can read that on your own. Okay, so we're still working with his concepts of Solowitt. He used lines, geometric solids, ratios, patterns, formulas, and permutations to create his modern structures and wall painting. So we're creating our own. And you will create templates and draw out your lines on your pyramid faces. Day 2, you will color and paint your pyramid and make photographs and submit your assignment by the end of class. So, assignment instructions: create a 4-sided pyramid with 9-inch by 12-inch paper with a different face, each with a different face. Okay. Lines will be drawn 1/4 inch apart. The lines will be in this order on each face of your pyramid: horizontal lines, diagonal lines, vertical lines, and zigzag lines. Your triangle will be 4 inches at its base and 5 inches high. Create your triangle template of a 4 by 5 inches high triangle and cut out exactly. On your 9 by 12 paper, measure up 2 inches on the horizontal and draw a horizontal line. Measure to the middle of the paper on the horizontal 6 inches and run a line vertically. Place your triangle template with its apex at the middle point at the 2-inch and 6-inch convergence, with one side of the triangle hugging the middle line. Draw a triangle using the outline of your template. Repeat this process 3 more times to the right and to the left. You will have 4 sides drawn and a 1/2 inch tab on the left edge of the face of your left-hand triangle. Draw out your lines at 1/4 inch increments. When done, color with watercolor pencil alternating lines of magenta and green on the zigzag and the diagonal line faces. Color alternating lines on the horizontal and vertical faces with black watercolor pencil. Cut out your pyramid shapes and then tape the flap to the inside of your pyramid. Using a small brush and a small amount of water, you blend the solid colors within their lines. Do not mix the colors together. They must be crisp and distinct. When done, take 2 photographs of each of the 2 faces as in the example. Here, this is your 4-inch by 5-inch tall triangle. This is your piece of paper which is divided. You go up 2 inches, draw your horizontal line, go 6 inches over from the edge to here. I do that twice and draw your midline. Then you take your triangle piece that you've cut out and you place it onto the midline here and draw out your triangles. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you will put a flap over here that comes down 1/2 inch. Here's your 1/2 inch flap. This is your template that has the horizontal, diagonal, vertical, and zigzag lines drawn on it. Then you're going to take your magenta and green and you will fill in nicely here and here on the zigzag and diagonal, and then here on the vertical and horizontal you will use black, and then eventually you will take your paintbrush and brush this with a light wash of water and you will have created a very interesting looking 4-sided pyramid. When you're done with all that, you're going to take 2 photographs of each side of it, 1, 2, okay, and you will call it your last name, your period, last name, first name, and the SL6. Call it Solid 6. And here is your rubric. Make sure that every direction is followed to the fullest extent. Your complete arc is exceptionally neat, and that you work every period on this because this is going to be due, the painted version will be due at the end of the 2nd period. An expectation student has exceeded expectations of his or her ability. Okay, so you're gonna get to this point by the end of the 1st day, and then you're gonna do this on the 2nd day, and then paint this once you are finished. You do not put water on this till it is actually joined together as a complete pyramidal unit. So the first thing you're going to need to do is make a 4-inch by 5-inch tall triangle. And so I came in about 7/8 of an inch from here. It doesn't matter where you start, as long as you have your point here, that's 0, and it goes to 4 inches. Now you need to measure it by half, right? That's 2 inches. 2 inches. I put a mark over here, 2 inches. Then I measured out from the side what my dimension was, and it was about 2 13/16. And so I measured out 2 13/16 here, and I put another mark. And then I had my center line. So then I ran a line and I made a center line here. Once you have your center line, you can go up to 5 inches and measure 5 inches. Okay, there you go. You measure your 5 inches there, and you got 5 inches, right? Then, and so you put your mark up here. Then you take your ruler at your mark over here, and you draw your line from this side, and then you do the same thing over here, and you draw your line. Having drawn my lines, then you can use your scissor to cut this out. Cut, 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 cut. Okay, now I use an X-Acto blade because I use an X-Acto knife because that was even more precise. Now you have your triangle. Now on a 9x12 piece of paper, I now take my measuring device and I measured 2 inches to here. And then I came down here and I measured another 2 inches over there. Then I took my device and I made a line that goes across. And so I have this line at 2 inches. Then I measured, since this is exactly 12 inches, I measured 6 inches over to 6. And I measured 6 inches over to here to 6. And then I ran a line up the middle. And I ran a line. I drew a line. Now I take this, which is an exact triangle, and I'm going to put it over here like this. I'm going to start this way. Put that at the point. That goes there. And you can actually draw a line here and here, right? And I'm going to go over this with my ruler later, okay? And then I put my next one on here, okay? And it's going to be slightly off because it's not. There's no such thing as perfection here, okay? And I run my line over here out like this, okay? And just to get my line there, okay? Now, come over here with your ruler and make a beautiful line. Take your ruler, draw another beautiful line. Make sure everything's lined up beautifully. And if I went to the point here, make sure you know where your points are. Okay, I can measure from here to here. And that's about a little more than a ½ inch. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to measure a little more than a ½ inch right here. Okay. It's called 9/16. And I'm going to run this over like this. And I'm going to come down about a ½ inch over here. This is a ½ inch. And over here I'm going to come down a ½ inch. So I keep everything even. Now I run my line across, and this is going to be my flap for my object when I'm done with it. Okay? Now, this will be where my flap is. The distance between here and here is a ½ inch. The distance between here and here is a ½ inch. Okay? This is a ½ inch. Okay, that's the distance. Okay, so the directions say that you're going to create a 4-sided pyramid, and you're going to have horizontal lines, diagonal lines, vertical lines, and zigzag lines. Okay? Your lines will be 1/4 inch apart. And right now I'm taking my ruler and I'm going to be putting my horizontal lines in over here, and I'm going to start marking out 1/4 inch increments. So I've measured this out. I've eyed this to make sure I have it's at 1/4, and I've started drawing all my lines out. Right? Okay. And so I'm continuing on to the top. So the next one should be diagonal lines. So if you're going to draw a diagonal, I'm going to find the midpoint on this, which is for 5 is 2½ inches right here. And then I'm going to run a line out like this, and I'm going to call this my diagonal. When I get to this point, of course, I need to have my 1/4 inch, right? So now, this one needs to be vertical lines. So to get your vertical line, you need to measure half, which is 2. And all you need to do is run this out like this. It's 5 inches there. You get your vertical line. I'm going to go from the middle. And then I'm going to run across from here to get my 1/4 inch. 1/4, 1/4, 1/4. So now I have my vertical lines here. It's vertical. The next are zigzag over here. We're going to zigzag now. Now, to do my zigzag, I need to measure out half of this dimension here, okay, which is 2 inches. And then I'm going to run this up. And everything's supposed to be on a 1/4 inch, right? Actually, I shouldn't have done that as pronounced as that, but okay. I know where my midline is here now, okay? I know where my midline is. And I'm going to go up a 1/4 inch, 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, 1/4. I'm going to go at 1 inch here. I'm going to go to 1 inch. Okay, 1 inch here and 1 inch here. And then I'm going to come up again about a 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, 1/4. And the same over here. As high as I can go, right? I'm trying to keep it even. 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, 1/4. Okay, so I'm going to come up to here, from here, because it's got to be a 1/4 inch zigzag. And I'm going to come down like this. Up like that. And down like that. Okay. So now we have zigzag, vertical, diagonal, and horizontal lines. Now the next thing we're going to do is we are going to fill this with color. Okay, so you're going to be working with 3 colors, or two colors and black. Green and magenta and black. And then you're going to use the white of the actual paper as a color. Okay, so you're going to start out with this, and then eventually you're going to take a brush with a little bit of water on it, and you're going to brush this, okay, and you're going to blend the color and make it look very nice. You're going to have a nice little effect there. So you need to be very precise in what you do. Now I'm going to start at the bottom with the magenta. Okay, Okay, so now we're ready to cut this out. Now, let us remember that this is our flap, and we need our flap so we can join everything together. So let's cut this at the flap. We're going to fold our flap. We'll fold our flap right there. Okay, and now we're going to fold on our corners of our pyramid. Okay, our triangles. We'll find that edge exactly. Make sure you find it exactly, and you're going to fold, right? You're going to need tape. So you get your tape. You put your tape on the flap, on the, turn it over, and put your tape on there. All right, you got your tape on there. This is running a little tall. Remove a little bit of the tape. Take your piece, line it up, press your tape onto here. Now, you've got this little bit of stuff sticking out over here because it was a flap. I'm going to remove that. Now you have your pyramid. Okay, this is your pyramid. How about that? Now we're going to take our brush and we're going to paint this gently with water. Now, I've got my water here, and I put my brush in the water and I try to get the water off of it. And so I'm slowly, I'm working. I'm going to work with one color at a time. I'm going to work with the magenta, and I'm blending my colors now. Okay, so work with one color. Do not blend the green with the magenta. Okay. Take a picture here.